Football fans, welcome back to another episode of Lions Latest, the show where we gather around to talk about the greatest team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. I'm your host, Bryan Hanes, and we have some stuff to look forward to ahead of Monday Night Football next week, and some other stuff to look at regarding what happened on Sunday night against the Chiefs. So let's just jump straight into that. Starting off, we are talking about the Brian Branch punishment. So, like we know, he did something stupid. Branch said he was upset about being blocked in the back by Juju Smith-Schuster late in the fourth quarter. Because of this, after the game, Patrick Mahomes went to shake his hand. He ignored Patrick Mahomes, which isn't that big of a deal. But afterwards, went up to Juju Smith-Schuster and just punched him in the face, basically. Huge scuff, brawl broke out, and Dan Campbell had to get him off of everybody. It was definitely a weird kind of thing to see, especially with how we've been all right with handling losses. It just felt like this one was more personal. He said, quote, "I did a childish thing, but I'm tired of people doing stuff in between the play that refs don't catch." He said, "They be trying to bully me out there, and I shouldn't have did it. I was childish. It was childish." Branch faced criticism online for sure, social media. A lot of people were just telling him how much he should be suspended, how much of a baby he was. And you know what? He dug himself that hole, but I think he dealt with it in a good way. Where does that put us against the Bucks though? Their wide receiver room is almost all injured, which kind of oddly balances out the fact that our secondary is going to be non-existent against the Buccaneers. But I definitely think that's something to start thinking about. Head coach Dan Campbell also condemned Brian Branch's actions, though, so it wasn't just a thing where it was an external problem. It was internal as well. He said, quote, "I love Brian Branch, but what he did was inexcusable and it's not going to be accepted here. It's not what we do. It's not what we're about." Campbell said, "I apologize to Coach Andy Reid and the Chiefs and Smith-Schuster." He said, quote, "That's not okay. That's not what we do here. It's not going to be okay. He knows it. Our team knows it. That's not what we do." End of the quote. So Dan Campbell, I mean, the guy who is just constantly about culture and how we handle ourselves, how we carry ourselves, right? That is just not the culture, and that's not what Dan Campbell wanted to see, obviously. But it seems like he did the right thing by going and apologizing to everybody and just being like, "This isn't what we're about. I'm sorry for him. I don't know what got into him." Still not acceptable, though, and it definitely makes the organization look bad when one person freaks out like that. He was hit with a $23,186 bill for face masking and unsportsmanlike conduct penalties during Week 1 against the Green Bay Packers, and Branch is now officially out one game against the Buccaneers. So what does that really do to us? Because if Kirby Joseph's dealing with a knee problem, right? And he was out for 10 minutes against the Chiefs. What if he's out the whole game against the Bucks? And now we don't have Brian Branch, and we're without Terrion Arnold, and we're without DJ Reed. It doesn't put us in a great position. Avante Maddox is also out, so our secondary depth right now is pretty non-existent. And this was the thing I worried about at the beginning of the season. Everyone told me to be Brian, calm down, relax. We got backups. We got guys who can fill in. Well, they're all basically injured at this point, and I'm starting to not relax that much. So that's that. That's the injury, or not the injury. That's the suspension. That's the punishment that he's getting. I think it's justified. To be honest, I'm surprised he didn't get a longer one. If I'm being completely honest, not good for us, but hopefully he gets back and doesn't do anything stupid like that again in this season, because we definitely need him going forward. Let me know what you guys think about the punishment. That kind of goes perfectly into our next topic, because the matchup against the Buccaneers. It's so odd that our secondary seems to be depleted and their wide receiver room is on strings, held in string right now. And we're probably happy to have an extra day of preparation going into this game because of now we got to worry about all this extra stuff with Brian Branch being out. The Lions, who are 4-2, will face the NFC leading Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-1 on Monday, October 20th at Ford Field in Detroit. Kickoff for Monday Night Football in Week 7. The matchup could decide supremacy in the NFC, with both teams heading into this week belonging among the league's best. The Lions are coming off of a 30-17 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday night, while the Buccaneers pulled off a 30-19 home win over the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. Niners were without Fred Warner most of that game. They didn't stand a chance, unfortunately. The Lions will enter the game as the second highest scoring team in the league with 31.8 points per game, behind only the Indianapolis Colts of all teams, who are averaging 32.3 points a game. However, Tampa Bay presents an MVP favorite in quarterback Baker Mayfield. He's been going crazy, who has led the led a league high 4-game winning drives for the Buccaneers this season. It's he looks like Oklahoma Baker. It's scary. He's just putting on for his team right now. I think he knows he's getting older, and if he wants to win a bowl, it's now or never. And he's just going crazy, especially with all the injuries. He's just performing. It's awesome to see what he's been doing. But none of that matters this week because he's going up against the Lions, and now I hate everything he's been doing. The Lions and Bucks are very familiar, playing 3 times over the past 2 seasons. Last season, the Bucks upset the Lions in Week 2 at Ford Field, 20-16. Ugh. And after the kind of year we had, it was just like the Bucks were our kryptonite that year, I suppose. But it can't be like that this year for sure. This is a win now where going 4-3 isn't horrible, but we definitely want to be 5-2. I think that's not really rocket science. And the Bucks are in a weird position right now. They have the NFC's best record at 5-1, despite having just the conference's 7th highest point differentials, plus 14, notching their first win by more than 3 points on Sunday against the 49ers. They're going down. They're also down their best 2 receivers with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans both benched, and star rookie receiver star receiver Emeka Egbuka has a hamstring injury he just suffered on Sunday. And yet they have a top 10 passing offense by yards per game at 244.2. They have also been without running back Bucky Irving the past 2 games, and both Godwin and Irving are already confirmed out against the Lions per Todd Bowles. So it's like they continue to be without their playmakers, but it seems the only playmaker they need on their team is Baker Mayfield. He's finding other guys to be playmakers. Tez Johnson, I mean, Baker's decision-making has been next level. He's got the veteran decision making, but he's running around the field like he's a rookie. It's kind of awesome to watch. He had that run against the 49ers on Sunday where he scrambled out, did a pump fake, and then made another guy miss, and then dove and extended the ball for a first down. Come on, Baker. It was tough as nails, but I'm like, wow, I can't believe he's still doing all that. So our defense in the secondary is almost gone. Their receivers and starting running back are nearly all injured. I think honestly this will still be a pass heavy game for Baker, but we'll have to take advantage of the fact that we know he's going to go to the air in the offense. The pass rush has to be elite. And I say it every single week, but it's just a fact. When we have guys like Hutch, we need to have an elite pass rush every week. I saw what he did this Sunday against the Niners with that crazy run. And if that starts happening to us, it's going to go bad real quick. And if Joseph is still out, I'd be really scared. For now, we have an extra day to plan around whatever we want to do with our weekend secondary. But I'm praying Joseph stays in for us because our safety situation is going to be scuffed going into Monday night if we can't figure that out quickly. Maybe a trade comes about. Who knows? I'll keep you guys updated if I hear anything about that. That'll take us to our third topic. Let me know what you guys think about that game. And right now, early expectations, what are we thinking are going to be the main factors to look for going into that game? Let me know in the comments right now. This next topic, it surprised me. I woke up this morning and was shocked. This offseason, one of the most controversial moves that the Detroit Lions made was not re-signing Zadarius Smith from, that made all those plays for us last year. There was mutual interest. Zadarius Smith wanted to play for us, and it turns out that the Lions may have even made a correct move in not signing him, because on Monday, Smith announced his retirement via his Instagram after playing 5 games with the Philadelphia Eagles this season. That's right, folks. Zadarius Smith had to line up against Cam Scatterbo for 1 game and decided it was time to hang it up. I mean, I don't blame him, dude. I'd say I'm too old for this too if I had Cam Scatterbo just running into me full speed for a full 60 minutes. But yeah, no, that's crazy. Apparently he's hanging it up. I woke up this morning, totally shocked me. I can't stop thinking of whether or not he'd still be playing at this point if the Lions had decided to re-sign him instead of him going to the Eagles. I'm not really sure if that had anything to do with it, but it's going to bother me for the rest of time because we'll never know. He said on his Instagram post, quote, "I knew this day would come, but now that it's here, I'm feeling so many emotions I never expected." He said, he added later in this caption, "And to the fans, the biggest thank you of all. To every fan from every organization I represented, thank you, thank you. My cards, sending letters, sharing your opinions, good and tough ones alike, and most importantly, showing love. I felt it all. As I step into the newest season of my life, please know this game has meant the world to me. The lessons learned on and off the field will stay with me forever. End quote. Good caption, brother. Honestly, good career too, and way to send it off. Last year, the Lions traded for Smith at the deadline, sending a 2025 fifth and 2026 sixth round pick for Smith and a 2026 seventh round pick in return. Smith proceeded to give Detroit 8 quality games following the loss of Aiden Hutchinson to a gruesome injury that put him out for the rest of the year. And everyone thought in Detroit that was going to be it, but then Zadarius Smith gave us some hope we didn't think we'd find. He notched 4 sacks and 36 pressures over that span, giving the Lions a fighting chance on defense despite all of the injuries we had suffered earlier in the year, which basically made it seem impossible to even win the division at that point, right? For that, I tip my hat to you, Zadarius Smith. Thank you for what you did for Detroit. Even though we didn't end up winning any games in the playoffs, getting that bye and being the best team in the NFC, it felt pretty good, and I don't think we would have accomplished that without somebody like Zadarius Smith filling in and jumping in as a leader on this team. We accepted him with open arms. He came in and had a great attitude from what I could tell the entire time. Was really happy to have him in Detroit, and I was a little disappointed we didn't re-sign him, but I'm glad that he is, he's comfortable retiring and he's going to enjoy the rest of his life. The Lions opted to cut Smith in a move that saved them a total of $11 million split over 2 seasons. Instead of giving him a new contract, we instead re-signed Al-Qadim Muhammad and Marcus Davenport, which Al-Qadim Muhammad's been great, but Davenport has 1 sack for the Lions and has been placed on injury reserve. I could have told you. I could have told you guys. But he is expected to return soon. Thankfully, because we can't have more injuries on defense. Muhammad has 4.5 sacks, though. 6 games. Smith, through his 6 games, Smith had 1.5 sacks and 10 pressures for the Eagles this year. Smith then calls it a career after just about 10 seasons in the NFL. He finishes with 343 tackles, 70.5 sacks, 10 forced fumbles, and 3 Pro Bowls. Heck of a career, man. Thank you, Zadarius Smith, for Detroit, and thank you for a great football career in the NFL, man. It was awesome to watch you play. Let me know what you guys. I mean, I don't know. I wanted to include that because that's a crazy retirement to hear. Just like a season after he came and helped us out. I hope the best for him, man. And finally, just the new injury list comes out. I think it's worth looking at. I think it's definitely going to change before this weekend ahead of the Monday night matchup, but let's look at it right now for what they got. Terrion Arnold, they still have him out with a shoulder injury. We know it's going to be a little bit. Hopefully he's back before, mid-November. Zach Cunningham is still out with that hamstring injury. I really want Zach Cunningham back. He made some great plays in the Ravens game. Taylor Decker is still dealing with that shoulder injury. Not the worst thing in the world, but... with Giovanni Manu also being out with a knee injury, it's a lot on Dan Skipper for the foreseeable future, but I have faith in the man. Avonte Maddox, somebody who we need to call upon soon if the safety issue becomes bad enough to where Kirby Joseph isn't playing. He's one of those guys we were going to need to call on, and he is out right now with a hamstring injury, so hopefully he gets better soon. Lee McNeil is listed as out right now with a knee injury, but we all know the truth. He's preparing for the comeback of the century, and he's going to come back with a vengeance and be awesome. Lee McNeil, let's go. I'm hype. I'm super hype. Joseph remains questionable with that knee injury that he dealt with Sunday. I am on my knees praying that he plays against the Bucs, especially with how they've been passing. And finally, Khalif Raymond remains questionable, although he got some playing time against the Chiefs. He's still dealing with that neck injury he got. I think he's all right, though. Because he's not getting a ton of reps, so hopefully he just rests it and pops off for us in special teams on Monday. With that being said, we are out of time here today. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Lions Latest. If you made it to this point in the video, tell me your opinions on the Buccaneers matchup right now in the comments, and also tell me what your favorite part of Zadarius Smith in Detroit was. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a single video here on Lions Latest. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video.